So I want to start off today by giving an injury update on Kramer. He has a lower leg injury and no timetable to return right now. That's the one that we have for you. Everything else is day to day. You know, guys that have missed practice, they're just day to day with dealing with their particular injury, and we expect those guys to be back. That's that. Then for review of practice, you know, yesterday we had a shorter practice. We thought it was good, crisp practice. And we got to be mindful of the reps this week because it's a short week. You know, we're playing, you know, a quick turnaround, which I think is good practice. It's good practice for when we play Washington during the course of the season. So we're kind of using that as that. Guys have to focus, have to be on the walkthroughs, have to be ready for that. And I just told the players today, I said, you know, we have this thing called 48-hour preparation, and that's 48 hours before the game. You start thinking about how you're going to perform. You know, the X's and O's is over. All the preparation now is mental. And we're working with those guys to create that process during these preseason games. And I think that's so important for all the players because you talk about, you know, your job on a particular play, all those things, but you set your mind up for success in the 48 hours prior to. And visualizing success, being successful in plays, doing your job the right way and execution, and then you get to a certain point where you get before the game and then you let it go. You know, sometimes it's 4 hours before the game, just kind of let things go, and now you just go play. So that's so important to be mindful of that. And this is really our first road trip together, you know, going out to Seattle. And there's a lot of good time in there to get that done. You know, you think about the plane ride in, you know, and that's for coordinators too. You know, I remember when I was a coordinator, I'd be on the plane restudying the third downs, restudying 2 minute. And again, I know we're not in that part in terms of game planning like that, so to speak, right now. But it's really a good exercise for our football team to prepare for these road games. We know we got these back-to-back road games during the course of the season, so we're going to be doing those, and we got to be on it. So we're focusing on that, the preparation for that during the course of this short week going into Seattle. Now, the guys that, in terms of playing time for these guys, you know, we plan on playing our ones. They're going to be out there, and we're going to play. And again, like I said last time, it's an individual basis, and it's a little bit shorter this time because it's a short week. You know, so we're not going to put the stress on the bodies, but we're going to go, you know, 6 to 10 plays, depending on a series or two, with a limited number of guys, and then other guys might get 20 plays, and we'll yank them from there. And then the young guys will get a lot of reps, and that's why if you saw the practice today at the end of practice, it was all ones. All ones were practicing because those guys are getting limited reps in the game, and then now what we're going to do with those twos, we got them off their legs, and they only really had a half a practice today. You know, so then we're going to work into our normal operation tomorrow, travel to Seattle, and then work from there. But I thought today was good. A lot of good situations again. Put ourselves in the fringe. Got a chance to work Cairo in some kicks. He operated good on those. But overall, it was a good day. From there, I will open it up to questions.
You obviously know we haven't been able to talk with Roquan since he's been here. Has there been any progress made in between the two sides of just coming down the bridge a little bit?
Yeah, obviously I knew that question would come up, and really I don't have anything. All I can say is that it is where it is right now, and we're day to day. Is he in the building? Yes. Is he engaged? Yes. And the next thing I would say that when he practices, and I'm not going to say when that is, when he does, he will be made available to the media, is what I understand.
Is he traveling to Seattle?
Yes.
With all of the things that you have to oversee, how much of your day goes into checking in with him or Ryan on the situation?
You know, I'm not going to get into all that, but certainly I have conversations with all the players, and I have conversations with Ryan, you know, multiple times during the day. So.
Does it matter to you whether there's a fracture between him and the organization or whether he's on board? You know, he's been at practice, and then he had that trade demand and wasn't at practice, and now he's back at practice. How much does it matter to you as a head coach and as a prospective head coach? Does it matter to you that he is on board, or that there might be a fracture between him and the organization?
Yeah, I would just say this with all the players: you're always working on relationships, and I know I say that a lot, but it's so important. You know, so it's with Roquan and any other player. So it's important to keep the relationship and communication open and on the table, and that's what we're trying to do day to day with all of our players.
Do you feel good about that with Roquan, with the relationship with Roquan?
I do.
Matt, I think it's been a week now since he was taken off of PUP. Has there been team discipline for him refusing to practice?
Yeah, as always, we're not going to discuss team discipline. So if we discipline a player or find a player, all that, we're not going to discuss that up here with the media or with the public. It's going to be in-house, internal.
Do you think it's at the point, yesterday there was the memo sent about, a person contacting other teams. Is it to the point where it's a distraction for your team?
I see the guys are focused. I see that they're ready, like I said, focused on Seattle, focused on our first road trip together, and wired in that way.
We were talking to Kyler Gordon yesterday, and he said he thinks he'll be ready to play in Thursday's game.
Yeah.
Will he be ready to go, and what are you interested to see from once he gets in a game setting?
Yeah, with Kyler, and as I think I said it before the last game, we're getting a lot of guys back. So we're excited to see a lot of players that we didn't get a chance to see in the first game. So this is their first performance. I told the guys we're only judged by our last performance, and the only thing that matters is the next performance. And for those guys like Kyler, it's their first performance in front of the in the lights, and he's going back, kind of a homecoming for him. So he's really excited about it. Yeah, he's going to get his plays in. So we're excited to see where he is when he performs out there at his position.
Coach, we've been asking you kind of since the spring about the possibility of Teven Jenkins kicking inside. Ever since Braxton Jones came in, and it didn't seem like that was the plan. When did that change, and what have you seen from him that's giving you confidence?
Do you remember what I said in the spring?
I do.
What was it?
That, we haven't talked about that. We asked you, like, who told you that? And we was like, we're just asking.
But then what I say after that, you think?
I don't know what you say.
It's better to ask the questions, boy. That's easy, isn't it? No, I think what I said, and I'll go back and look at it, but is that we're going to look at all combinations, and we kicked him inside, and he's been there for a couple days, right? And he's doing a good job, and we're excited to see where he goes from this forward, and we'll see how it goes. And this is another combination that we have. We're looking at it, and we'll go from there.
Will he work with the ones in Seattle?
We'll see. You'll see when they line up.
Regardless.
Yeah, because we're still working through all that right now. Yeah, we got time.
Someone kind of given his situation right now, though, that would go beyond the 6 to 10 plays to evaluate him at that right guard position.
Yeah, like any position, if you're not, an experienced guy at your position, we're going to try to get you a little bit more. And that's really at any position. We're going to try to get that. Those guys, really don't have a limitation. They might be, some guys are capped at 20, and some guys don't have a limitation. They can play as much as we want them to or need them to.
He has so little football or NFL experience. Even in practice. He missed last training camp and missed a lot here. Does that make it harder or easier for him to learn a new position?
I don't know. He's Teven's smart. He's very smart, very athletic player. And one of my mentors said this, and I believe this, and he ingrained it into my mind, is that you never put a ceiling on a player. So you might have, you always have to watch out that as a coach. You don't put a ceiling on him. Let him grow, okay? Let him do his thing, because some people mature and grow at different times. And all of a sudden, they just grow into a player, and grow into a really good NFL player. And that's for any position. We're never going to put ceilings on guys. We're always going to think the best for every player. That's, the sky's the limit for you, and we're coaching every single player on the roster that way.
Have you seen Teven grow up just in the time you've coached him?
I've gotten to know him more as a person, as a man, and we're just excited where he is. And to me, he's growing just like a lot of the young players are.
A 3-game preseason is still a pretty new thing. How have you figured out kind of the mechanics of how you want to handle the dance of these 3 weeks and making sure you get out of it what you want to get out of it?
Yeah, it's a balance, because you throw in these early games, and that kind of puts a little situation there in terms of the reps, and then you can't have a ramp up like you wanted to, so it's like a little bit different. But you want to see the guys. Like we said, we're going to play our guys. We need to play them because we need to see them because we have a young roster. We have to see how they work with each other, how they work and perform under the lights, and how they do during game day operations. So it's been good. First game was solid, and we're looking for a solid performance this time.
The most extensive work in Cleveland
For the starting group?
Yeah, we're still working through that. I think you got to evaluate your team every single week. So we'll evaluate. We'll get back here. We'll figure it out. And we got a couple practices, then a day off, and then we got that week leading up to Cleveland. So we'll see where we are.
Have you dealt?
have you dealt with a short week like this in a preseason before? And like, what are some of the challenges that go with it? You sort of touched on it a little bit.
I don't remember.
Play the guys.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know this is my 14th year in the pros, so I don't remember doing this before, where it was this short. It's been, maybe a 6-day stack, but there are some challenges to it, but we're working through it, and it is what it is.
I have a question for you about Justin Fields, kind of in the big picture here. When you get in here and you're working with him, how much time did you guys spend with him looking through his film from last year and trying to correct things from that? Or was there a different approach that you guys used as far as steering him?
Yeah, I think early on we did that. Way back in, the OTA time, we were doing that for sure, working on his footwork and platform and delivery and all those things. We did that really early on, but
From last season?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So now it's just, now it's just day to day. We got plenty of reps, we got plenty of drills, we got everything we need just to work on where he is right now and keep taking those steps to progressing.
How quickly did he take, when you guys talked about what you wanted him to become going forward, how quickly did he take to that vision?
Oh, right away. Right away. He's a quick learner, and he's all in. Great listener, and he applies it to the field. So he's great that way.
And as
An extension of that, how would you describe the way Luke puts demands on him, right? In a way that is constructive and productive for you guys?
Yeah, he's like, I think he's a really good coach in terms of challenging the guys in the room, to go through the reads the right way and teaching those guys what they are and then when to deliver the ball. And he's been great that way. And I love how the guys, you always said, model, inspire, challenge, encourage. And that's what I want from the coaches, and he does that every day.
Is that a new acronym?
No.
Is that mice?
I know you have to
Two more.
make some cuts. Those are technically personnel decisions, but are you a coach who likes to, sit and, I don't know, you don't like it, but is it important to you to be in those rooms, talking to the players that you actually have to let go?
Yeah, I think it's important to do that, because you're building relationships with everybody, and you're coaching everybody. So I think as out of respect to everybody, for their hard work and their attention and buying into the systems and going out there and working hard, I think that's respectful to do that.
David and Cole, a little bit out there. How?
Is that?
Montgomery and Komet.
Okay.
Do you have to weigh, what is your thought process in terms of whether it's worth playing them on a short,
Yeah, we're working through that right now for sure. But I think if guys can play, we're going to play them. I think it's because it's great work.
Is there a benefit at all if they hadn't played, if they didn't play on Saturday, because they don't have that, they're not dealing with maybe the same soreness other people are?
I think it might be, yeah. They have fresh legs for sure.
Thanks, Matt.